Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Parsha Tzav and Pesach. Today I'll share some thoughts from Rav Pam, from the Shalach Kadosh, and from Rabbi Eli Stefansky, a Magid Shir of Daf Yomi. In Perek Vav, Pasuk Beis of our Parsha, it says, Savas Aaron bes banav leimor, command Aaron and his sons leimor, Zos Torahs ha'olah, hu ha'olah, hi ha'olah al-mokdah. These are the laws about the olah, the elevation offering that stays on the fire. There's a Medrash Tanhuma on this pasuk, and as part of the drush, it discusses a story in Baloscha where Miriam and Aaron are saying lashon hara about Moshe Rabbeinu. They were upset that he left his wife Sipporah. They didn't think it was proper. After all, they didn't leave their spouses, and they were Nevi'im also. So Kadosh Baruch Hu appeared to them suddenly and told them, "You're wrong. Moshe is different than you. He's a higher level of Navi that has to be ready at all times. Unlike you, who are allowed to be with your family because you don't have to be prepared at any moment, he has to be separated to remain in an elevated level of Kedusha." So he told them why he was upset. And then a couple of psukim later in Bamidbar, Yud Bey's Tes, in Baloscha, Rashi quotes the Midrash Tanchuma there saying that after Hashem explained why they had done wrong, then Vayichar af Hashem bam vayelech, that then he got angry at them. That first, and this is the important lesson, that first Hashem told Aaron and Miriam the reasons why he was upset, and then he punished them with nidui, excommunication, and for Miriam she received the punishment of tsaras. So this lesson is that before we get angry at someone, we should tell that person that we're upset. And why? For obvious reasons, because perhaps if we tell them what we're upset about, we'll realize that it was a mistake. The person will have an opportunity to explain what they did, why they did it, and we'll realize that, oh, never mind. Or it could be when you tell them, they'll apologize, and then you won't have to get upset anymore. You'll settle the matter. And that is the lesson that we get from this pasuk. And it comes out in Tzav, this lesson, and we said something similarly recently, because it's right, Tzav is usually the parsha right before Pesach, and therefore there's so much tension in the preparation, and there's a risk of getting upset. Therefore, before you get upset, make sure you talk to the other person and avoid breaches of shalom bias, anger, or other heartache. Moving on, 4 pesukim later, Perek Vav, Pasuk Vav, it says, Eish tamad tukal and mizbeach lo sichbeh. A permanent fire will be there, it should not be extinguished. The Shalach Kadosh tells us that a shulchan is like a mizbech. A shulchan, a table, is like an altar. And on Shabbos and Yom Tov, the Jewish family gathers together to eat. And at that meal, we should make sure that that fire is always burning. What is that fire? That's the fire of Torah, the fire of Yiddishkeit, the fire of the Mesorah. Any meal that is devoid of Torah is considered a moshav leitzim, a gathering of fools. At this time of year, Pesach, we're busy with the cleaning and getting the food preparation, buying new clothing, all these things. We have to make sure that we don't forget about the main purpose of the Yom Tov, which is the Torah, the Mesorah, giving it over to our children. That's why it's a question and answer format, so the children will be interested in the goings-on at the Seder. But also, one of the best ways of giving over the Mesorah is making sure that our family knows that the desire for Torah is burning in our heart. It should not be extinguished. It should be like the Mishkan, where Eish Tamid Lo Sichbeh. Finally, something to say at the Seder table in Pesachim, Kuf Yud Zayin Amud Beis. There's a top right Tosafos, the Man Tiskos Yom Tzeitzcha Me'eretz Mitzrayim. That pasuk of to remember that you're leaving in Mitzrayim explains why on Shabbos we are obligated to mention in the Kiddush about Yetzias Mitzrayim. What is the connection there? So Rabbi Eli Stefansky, a Magid Shir in Beit Shemesh with MDY. So he explained a good interpretation of the Torah, Tosafos there, that says, it brings down a midrash that says, V'avdu b'hem yisol b'farech, which is a famous part of the Seder, b'farech, that they work the Jews with hard work. They give all types of work to do. And b'farech, the midrash says, is in language of Adbash, which means anytime you have an aleph can become a tuf, and a beis can become a shin, and vice versa, and proceeding through all the letters of the alphabet, pei, reish, chaf, parach becomes Vav Gimel Lamed, which is gematria of 39, representing the 39 malachos that the Jews had to do in Egypt. They had to plow, they had to burn things. They were doing all the malachos in Egypt. I haven't verified every single one, but let's assume it's correct. And therefore, Hashem gave them a Shabbos to give them a break, a vacation from doing this malachos. And after the Jews were out, that's when Hashem commanded them, said, you must keep the Shabbos. And it shouldn't be looked on, says Rabbi Stefansky, as, oh, if we do violate the Shabbos, we'll get punished, we can be put to death. But if you remember that Hashem gave us this vacation from the 39 malachos that the Jews did in Egypt as part of the Perach that they had to work. So thank you for listening. Keep the fire burning. Have a wonderful Shabbos and a wonderful Pesach.